David, in your presentation, you laid out 4 steps for EI: map, match, meaning, and move. Can you unpack that a little bit for listeners here?
A few years ago, a colleague of mine just said, yeah, the model's great, but it's kind of hard to remember. So this is just a simple, I like alliteration. And it's just those M's refer to the 4 hard skills I mentioned, in that talk. We just make them hopefully a little more memorable. And the first one is we call map, because we use our mood map, just 2 dimensions. So map where you are on this. I know how I'm feeling. I know how someone in my youth ministry is feeling. Now, can I match those feelings? Can I make that emotional connection and not be dismissive? So now we've got a ground floor baseline mapping of our mutual feelings, where we have some synchronicity here in how we feel and a connection. Now we start to investigate the meaning, what's going on? Tell me more. What exactly? So you're feeling sort of what? Oh, that sounds like anxiety, not sad. So its meaning is both the underlying meaning and what are the words, and then move emotions, because even if you're in a car driving on a straightaway, you got to move the steering wheel ever so slightly just to keep in that same direction. So we'd say your emotions are always moving, and you have to actively, I like that, you have to actively engage in moving emotions this way and that way in the course of a 30-minute, 1-hour conversation, one-on-one pastoral counseling session. Boy, how many different emotions are happening all at once? So you've got to be moving these in the direction you want. And we put all this together in real time. We call it our emotional intelligence blueprint. Again, just hoping it reminds people to do these things in real time. And and it happens in real time, and it's a cycle. These things are happening all the time with constant adjustments.
Is there one of those 4 where people tend to get stuck more frequently than others, or is it's more cyclical, right?
It's actually it's another great question, because it's an individual difference, right? So we have an assessment, we have an objective assessment of emotional intelligence, and so if you're strong throughout, you don't get stuck anywhere. If there's one of those 4 skills that you're lower on, then that's where you're going to get stuck, right? So if the mapping piece, the perceiving, is where you get stuck, you may go off on the incorrect tangent. Reverend Olds, you seem really angry this morning. Can you? And now you're smiling. No, see, and you're smiling. Okay. You're covering up. So it's like, whoa, what happened there? But let's say I'm good at that, or maybe it's that lack of matching, or maybe it's like you feel sort of like you are frustrated. Maybe that's not the word, right? So it's going to show up in different ways for different people, depending on your own skills in those 4 areas, or those 4 hard skills. So there isn't just one place where people fall down on. These are truly individual differences that you have to, I was about to say, figure out for yourself. You kind of can't.
Have reflected for you by trusted others.
That's a good way to do it, and/or a real full-blown assessment. But I think trusted others who really know you and observe you in multiple instances, and by the way, are also good at this, right? So they may be a trusted advisor or mentor, but not a good observer. So you want to really triangulate this and get a lot of feedback and a lot of input. And you know what? Unfortunately, like for me, it's not going to feel great. So, but unfortunately for all of us, it's important to do that.